Okay, we're going to be looking at a new feature from BotSheets called webhooks. And webhooks allow you to move data that your chatbot collects into any system. So by default, your chatbot will collect and write data to a spreadsheet, which is universal for accessing structured data. You might want to access all of your leads in a spreadsheet. And if you're an agency, you only need to share access to a spreadsheet, and you can securely collaborate and provide access to all that lead data to your clients. But you can also move all of the data that your chatbot collects into any system, a CRM, a support tool, and generate tickets. You could, any workflow automation that you could set up with the data that your chatbot collects. And a good idea is to use one of these workflow automation tools to move that data that accepts what's called as a webhook endpoint. So you've heard of Zapier or Make.com, or in this example, I'm going to be using Pabbly, which supports webhooks. It's going to receive data from my BotSheets chatbot, and then using Pabbly, you can move that data into any system. So how do we set that up? Let's take a look at this chatbot that is going to qualify e-commerce businesses and determine whether we want to invest in those e-commerce businesses. And if we click data, you can see that these are all the data points that we're going to collect, or the chatbot is going to collect. It's going to generate questions and collect information about the e-commerce business's monthly revenue, their annual revenue, their business model, how much money they're burning monthly, their burn rate, their market size. So all of this is actionable data for us to determine if we want to invest in this e-commerce business. And we're going to want to get that data not just into a spreadsheet, but into an external system so we can manage those relationships through something even more robust than than a spreadsheet. So we can do that with the webhook, and we just click webhook, and we click manage webhook, and you can see here that the chatbot, when it collects data, it's going to, we have this data structure here. We have a unique identifier for the chat session. We have the bot name. So this is just sample data, and these are just the example data points and the values for those data points. So if we were collecting a name, and then you can see Jim, if we want to know somebody's budget, and then their budget is $400. So all of this data is in a structured JSON format data, and Pabbly, the tool that we're using in this video, will accept that data. And at the end of the chat session, so once your chatbot has collected all of the data, there's a bit of a delay, and then we'll just send all of that data to any system you want. So what we need here is we need an endpoint URL. This is where where Pabbly is going to receive our data. So we can jump over here to Pabbly. We can click Create Workflow. And let's just call this e-commerce business leads. Okay, and then we just click Create. And the first thing we're going to want to do is set up a trigger. And you can see here the first option is a webhook. So we'll just click webhook. And now Pabbly has generated this URL for us. This is where it's going to receive the data from BotSheets. So we only need to click copy. And it's now waiting for a webhook response. So let's go back to BotSheets. Let's paste in that URL. And we can click test webhook. Just make sure that Pabbly is going to receive data from us. So click that. All right. So now we've sent some sample data specifically for this chatbot to Pabbly. And you can see here that the integration works. It received a response from BotSheets, and here's all the data that we sent it. We sent it that unique identifier. We're going to send it the name of the bot and all of the data points that chatbot is going to be collecting. And these are all the sort of example values. So it's sample data, and when you deploy your chatbot and it's at work collecting this data, you'll get actual data in Pabbly, and it'll be sent to Pabbly. And then all you need to do is once it receives the data, what does it do with it? So you can just pick an application and do what you want with the data. So there are hundreds of applications that Pabbly has an integration with, and so it makes it really easy. So it's a nice fluid process where your chatbot is going to collect data, send the data to any system you want, and I hope that helps. It's a nice integration, whether you use Pabbly or Zapier or Make.com, or you build something internally to receive data. All you need is an endpoint URL, and when you're done, make sure you test it first to make sure the data is flowing to your system. And then when you're done, just click Save Webhook, and that's it. Your integration is complete.